ready to race in Texas.
The green flag is out. Rudiman's Toyota down on the inside, flanked on the outside by Jeff Gordon's Chevy.
Jeff Gordon heads down the back straightaway. Jimmie Johnson is noticeably closing.
You don't seal the deal in one of these races until the white flag's out.
He is trying to hold on to grab his first win at Texas.
And Jimmie Johnson, I think, he is trying to wheel his car up there. It's going to be too little too late.
17 tries at Texas. 17 is the lucky number for Jeff Gordon.
Gordon wins for the first time at Texas Motor Speedway.
Jeffrey, I'm proud of you all day, man. You're behind us. He don't make it easy, does he? Where'd he come from?
How ironic is this that, you know, we go on this streak and we end it here in Texas, a place that had just eluded us for so long. Man, what an amazing day.
Jimmie runs a little higher, gets a lot of momentum, and really closes right there, but he isn't going to get there in time, although there is a couple of lap cars up here.
Kurt Busch has passed Jeff Burton. That's for the 8th position as we're on the final lap.
That 43 car is going to be right in Jeff Gordon's way. It's right where he likes to run. It's going to slow him down a little bit. I don't think Johnson's got enough speed. He's going to go high down here in 3 and 4, try to get a lot of momentum off of turn 4. It's going to be too little too late.
But he packed her down into turn 3 and 4. But like you say, it's just not going to be enough.
17 tries at Texas. 17 is the lucky number for Jeff Gordon. He finally wins in Texas.
Y'all better pat yourself on the back, boys. That's what we're talking about. That's the way to do it.
I'm anxious to see what kind of burnouts the old boy can do because he hadn't done any for a while.
No.
Jeff Gordon celebrating. Big smiles from the moment he pulled into victory lane. He's got that checkered flag. Jeff Gordon, you've had close calls here. You've had hard knocks here. What does it feel like to pull into victory lane on your 17th attempt at Texas?
Well, first I want to say hi to Ingrid and Elle at home, and I know she was saying go Papa go all day long, and I hate that they couldn't come with me this weekend, but how ironic is this, and I love you guys, how ironic is this that, you know, we go on this streak and we end it here in Texas, a place that had just eluded us for so long. This was an incredible team effort. This whole year has been amazing. And what a great car. I mean, we've never had a car like this at Texas, and we finally had one and put it in position.
Jeff Gordon starting up front. He was last in last year's race, but he's your points leader.
Toyota's giving us great horsepower here. And Rodney Childers and the guys are doing a great job. So, man, I think today's...
Watch out for Matt today. Jeff Gordon, that long victory drought, will that be broken today as he shares the front row for the 2nd week in a row, this time with David Rudiman. Make it a great race day with the perfect.
DW, she may not be the biggest, but she's the baddest and the fastest. Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time.
Yeehaw! Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, boys!
Rudiman packs it into turn 3. Here comes Kenseth on the bottom. David Rudiman trying to lead that first lap.
I tell you, though, he is in a hole right there with a 17 up his back bumper and a 24 on his outside. That makes that car hard to handle.
What Matt Kenseth is doing, he's easing it into the corner. He's nailing that throttle, and he gets such a run like right there off the corner.
Jeff Gordon led the first lap. He led the first pile of laps at Martinsville last week. He wants to seal the deal and lead the last lap. Hasn't been able to do it in quite a while.
I don't really like David Rudiman being pinned down on the bottom like that. You get that arrow push, believe it or not, up off the corner. Right now you can do that with fresh tires, but you can't do that long.
Paulman.
So he's falling in line now, and Gordon is scooting away.
I just think the new tire combination that we're running in a lot of places in 2009, a left side tire that has a lot more grip. Steve Letarte, Jeff Gordon's crew chief, told me, said Jeff Gordon loves the feel of that tire. It helps him feel the front end.
Robbie Gordon slid up the racetrack, but he did manage to gather it back in. He almost slid up right in front of the whole second half of the field.
Would you like to see how that? Well, I think it won't take long, Larry, until these guys will be venturing up around the top of this racetrack. There's just so much more momentum there. You can carry so much more speed off the turns. It gets rid of some of that dreaded push that you have off of 2 and off of 4 when you can run that high line.
For the lead, Stewart driving Kevin Harvick's car. Finished second. They are now running 6th and 7th.
I don't know what's happened to the 24, but something has, Krista.
Loose, Darrell. That is what Jeff just got on the radio on lap 8 and said his car is extremely loose. And you know, no one needs to remind Jeff Gordon that this is one of only 2 tracks he hasn't won. He said everyone does the reminding for him. He said he has answered that question 10 to 15 times since he's been here at Texas this weekend.
And Darrell, that's probably one reason he's moved up the racetrack. He can't turn the steering wheel because it's loose.
Yeah, you just got to find a bigger circle to run in, and that happens to be up around the top.
Paul Menard chases Jeff Gordon for 3rd.
Jeff Gordon is got his he has his hands full.
Dave Blaney has made a stop.
Another stop. That's second or third one.
Okay. Jeff Gordon was out front for the first 7. Jeff?
Guys, the thing that impressed me about Marcus Ambrose is not only his personality, but the way he's been received by one of his owners, Brad Daugherty. I mean, the cool thing about it, Brad said that right now, Marcus, we're having to kind of rein this guy back. He believes he can go up there and win a race. We've got to be careful, though, Jeff, as he told me. We want to make sure we get good, solid finishes so we can stay up in the points and be in position to make sure we don't have to worry about that, because we already know that if we make mistakes, if he gets caught up in a wreck, we lose an engine, we could fall out of this comfort zone. But he is so high on this young man, it's unbelievable. He is really believing that Marcus Ambrose can get a win for this team this year.
Steve Burns.
Mike, Marcus Ambrose just telling his crew, I can't get the left side down off the corner. The more I hit the gas, the tighter the car gets.
Now let's clarify. Marcus' car is owned by Tad Geschechter and Brad Daugherty, the NBA 5-time All-Star. However, it's run out of Michael Waltrip Racing with equipment from that team, and that's why
Gordon's car has settled down quite a bit. It's not as hadn't been falling back quite as badly. How's he like his car now, Krista?
A little bit better. You can even tell his voice, Darrell, on the radio, a little bit more calm. He said his car is tightening up in the middle of the corners, but it is still extremely loose off. Steve Letarte said, don't worry, we're going to give you a pretty major adjustment, give you something to lean on. Right now, though, he is holding on to a wild bull here in Texas.
Now, what helped that car tighten up is we're getting down to where they're almost out of fuel. There's a lot of weight out of the trunk now, which puts more weight on the front of the car. That tightens the car up.
As you burn fuel off, the car will transfer weight more to the front, and that'll help tighten it up.
Jeff Gordon saying his loose condition was getting double worse, a major wedge adjustment, and that's what call from Steve Letarte for Jeff Gordon. The crew, you see the wrench going in. It's going to be a 4-tire stop for the 24.
Kurt Busch, Bobby Labonte, Carl Edwards are in. Reed Sorensen. Here comes Harvick, Robbie Gordon, and here comes our pole sitter Rudiman. David Rudiman pits out of the lead, which Johnson's teammate Jeff Gordon running in 6th place. Krista, he's 8 seconds off the leader.
Yeah, 8 seconds, kind of like being on that wild bull, right, Mike? Remember, Jeff Gordon was really loose off before the pit stop. Well, the adjustment worked, but it went too far. Now his car is tight off and extremely loose in. Jeff telling Steve Letarte it feels like his car wants to spin out. He even went as far to call his car evil.
Well, at these speeds, and particularly corner entry, I believe if I was going to have a problem here, I certainly wouldn't want it as I entered the corner at right at 200 miles an hour. So they need to fix that loose end to get him comfortable.
Kevin Harvick just in front of him, one of a number of drivers who have gone a lap down, not through any mishap, but perhaps by missing the setup. Long green run and a pit stop. So 1 lap down, Robbie Gordon, David Gilliland, Martin Truex, Ryan Newman, and a spot on pit road. Big loser on those stops.
I believe that pit stop really helped the 24 car, Larry. I've been watching him, and that car is now down in the racetrack. It looks like it's going pretty good. He's moving forward again.
But I think what we'll have to do, Darrell, just like the start of the race, let's see where he's at about 12 laps into this run, because that's where he started backing up.
Car looks a lot better than it did before that caution came out.
The last time down the back straightaway, Kyle Busch. Darrell, you talked about drivers having a chance to work on their cars during the caution flag and try to make them better. Who's done a good job of that?
Well, I think so far you got to say the 24 did the best job, because he's now going forward again, not backward like he did at the start of the race. And the other guy I think has done a great job of getting up through the traffic and got good track position now is Jeff Burton in the 31 car. He's in the 8th place, and he continues to scratch and claw to the front.
All right, we're past 1/3 distance. Let's get down to the Hollywood Hotel for an AT&T race break.
Thanks, Mike. And on pace so far with 10 lead changes.
Now here's Jeff Gordon battling David Rudiman. This will be for 4th place. They're about 4.5 seconds behind race leader Greg Biffle.
I think Darrell was spot on. I think if there is definitely a turnaround team in the first 129 laps of this race, as far as making the right adjustments, it would be Steve Letarte, Jeff Gordon, and that 24 bunch.
I will give them an attaboy.
Greg Biffle has now led, but a new 3rd place driver, Jeff Gordon, has gone past Tony Stewart.
I think we knew when he qualified 3rd he was going to be bad news.
And you got Jeff Gordon, and I am just really proud of the adjustments they made on that car, because a lot of times they go the wrong way. They didn't go the wrong way this time. That baby's hunting.
Tony Stewart's been a top 5 car all day, but is that a car that can get
to his pit stall? The call was no adjustments for the 16. They like their car just the way it is.
Notice Kyle Busch in the 18 car came in. He could not afford to stay out there on those older tires when these leaders started hitting pit road, because he couldn't give up that kind of track position.
So Jeff Gordon becomes the leader for the 2nd time today as David Stremme pits along with Casey Kane, Clint Boyer, and here comes Gordon and Tony Stewart side by side down the pit lane. David Rudiman right behind them. Krista.
Jeff Gordon said his car was a little tight on the throttle up off the turns, but extremely better than where they were when they started this race. Just a slight air pressure adjustment. Matt.
And Carl Edwards' biggest complaint that last run, the car was just so free. Chassis adjustment completed. They're taking a long time on that left rear, Steve.
Matt, just chassis adjustment for Tony Stewart. He said, don't hurt my center. I need forward bite. Chassis adjustment, 4 tires for Stewart. Dick.
Well, as Larry McReynolds said, the crew has to do what the driver tells them, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. told his crew on the last stop the car was really loose. They tightened it, and he was tight on that whole run, so they loosened him up again. We'll see how that works.
Green flag. Greg Biffle, teammate Matt Kenseth, and Jeff Gordon as you watch speeds build off into turn 1.
They'll all but run wide open through 1 and 2, getting up the speed. You can see coming off turn 2 there, well over 170 miles.
Mike, good clean shot in. They're going to make a track bar adjustment. Tony's saying forward bite still good. They're going to try and fix that loose condition.
Jeff Gordon in. Coming down the pit lane. They have the 44 out of the way now. Krista.
Yeah, they were worried about that 44 car. Jeff Gordon's car much better now than it was to start the race. The only problem he has right now, it will now roll through the middle of the turn. They're making a track bar adjustment to help that. Dick.
Kurt Busch in on pit road. A lot of
Jeff Gordon did not pit. He is our leader. Neither did Mark Martin, who is the 2nd place car. Everyone else except Paul Menard, who is 1 lap down trying to get 1 back, did pit.
Now, if I had a car that was marginal, maybe I'll think, I'll stay out, lead a lap or 2 here and see how things are going to go. That car has been good all day long. I would have done what everybody else did if it had been me. Stay on equal terms with everybody, not take a chance here like that.
The only thing, Darrell, Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin both were one of the last cars to pit under green. They pitted at lap 213 and 214, so they had about 5 or 6 laps on their tires.
Let's get some more. Dick, in his defense, taking a look at that signboard that sticks out with the 88 on it, it doesn't protrude very far out onto pit road, which at the time was full of cars 1 lap down.
Well, and if you look at his crew, they were setting on the wall. They were only going to put that lug nut back on, and the signboard's actually laying on the ground.
Jeff Gordon's tires, the right sides at least, have 6 more laps on them than everybody else, but he doesn't seem to mind. He's running away from the field.
You know what? You're talking about only 6 or 7 or whatever more laps Jeff Gordon has on his tires. It's not that laps it hurts them. It's the heat cycle. It's getting them hot, cooling them off. That takes a lot of grip away from a tire sometimes.
Kind of like a driver's temper. You get it hot, you cool it off. You get it hot.
You do. You definitely. You try.
I'm going to tell you, a guy that's probably bending the floorboard and bending the steering wheel right now is that 18 car right behind him. He has to get one of his laps back the natural way, which would be to drive by that leader, and he's reeling Jeff Gordon in. That would put, well, and Darrell has pointed it out so many times talking about the 24 car. Old car, new car. Their car always runs better, a lot better when it's out front in clean air, maybe more than anybody else's car.
That certainly probably was a consideration as far as staying out.
There you see on the right-hand part of your screen, David Ragan in the 6, Tony Stewart.
Looking for 4 tires again this time. He took 4 on the previous stop. Dick?
Well, Junior's back in the pits. This time they're going to try to make a spring rubber change on that car. His principal complaint is that he simply...
So caution for the 4th time today as Sam Hornish goes sideways in turn 2. Back in David Rudiman, the first car 1 lap down as we go back to green.
Jeff Gordon, what a great restart in that 24 car. He'll clear everybody going through 1 and 2. But look at Kenseth in that 17 car getting a great run on the high side. That's your 2nd place car.
But you know what? You can't help but kind of pull for Jeff Gordon. A track that we've been coming to now. This is our 17th race here. Track that he hadn't won at. Hadn't won a race in over a year. Kind of like feel like it's a feel-good story if Jeff could pull off a win today.
Last week at Martinsville, he led most of the opening 1/3 of the race, but told his crew early on, with the adjustments we're going to be able to make, we're not going to be able to get there at the finish. And he was prophetic. He was right. He was not in a position to win as the race wound down. Today, different story.
And Mike, we talked about Kyle Busch in the 18 car. The clock is running out on him to get one of his 2 laps back, and he's about got to drive by the leader. But remember, our pole sitter, David Rudiman, the reason he...
Well, the 2 fastest cars on the racetrack are the 24 and the 17. They're running pretty comparable lap times.
Well, playing the numbers, Larry, if you're Jeff Gordon you and his team, Steve Letarte, you've got to think there's going to be 1 more caution because they need 2 more stops.
Yes, they do.
Get that checker flag ready. I'm bringing it home.
Caution is out for the 5th time today. Robbie Gordon's engine went up in smoke as he came off turn 4 and down the front straightaway, much like Marcus Ambrose earlier. So that will set up pit stops. And here come the lead lap cars. David Rudiman will be the free pass. Here's Matt.
As they hit pit road, Edwards says his car's better. Johnson says his...
Wedge adjustment for Greg Biffle. Jeff Gordon, they were playing fuel mileage. They thought that could make it on 1. They had to come in. Their last pit was 213. An air pressure adjustment, Steve.
No changes for Mark Martin. His service is complete. Same for Tony Stewart. Stewart, they made a
The 24 car stayed out on 6-lap tires and was able to pull away. Now, again, I think it's that clean air being out front that seems to really be a big benefit.
Hadn't been that long ago that Brian Vickers, the 83 car, was the recipient of the free pass.
It won't change directions, but when it does, it's evil.
Jeff Gordon started up on the front row.
Green flag.
And Rudiman's 18th, which is how many cars we have on the lead lap now with those 76 laps to go.
And he's 11th in the points, but Harvick struggling.
Ooh.
What happened?
Boy, Kyle Busch lost the car and in saving it got up and into Junior.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to lose the lead.
Well, that didn't take long to decide.
So it's Vickers and Gordon, the 83 and 24 side by side for the lead. Advantage Gordon.
I'm like Darrell. I'm anxious to see. Remember, Jeff Gordon stayed out on 4 without changing tires at all. There was a lot of talk with this new softer left side tires that there was a little bit of hesitation in changing just right side tires.
Krista?
Well, like I said, Mike, if caution hadn't come out, the guys on the 24 thought they could make it with just 1 more stop. Jeff did tell Steve Letarte his car was pretty good before that last caution, and it's actually been really good at this track. This has not been Gordon's signature track. Steve Letarte told me this morning they thought their car was about a 10th to 15th place car. It was lacking speed. Right now, Jeff Gordon plenty of it.
Gordon pulling away from Brian Vickers. Let's show you what happened down in turn 1 on the first lap of this run, just after they took the green flag. Watch the 18 of Kyle Busch.
Well, we've been talking about how aggressive Kyle Busch has been and needed to be to try to get one of those laps back, and you can see it just step out, shoves Junior up the racetrack.
I think what you also see is a lot of stay dry. Saw that dust and stay dry. Could have been a little bit of a residue on the racetrack right there. Got the car a little bit loose. See all that smoke?
2 inside, stay high there. That's the 18 for you. 2 inside, keep digging. 2 inside, 2 inside. 2 inside, 1 inside.
Now, Earnhardt Jr. has settled in back in the 7th position, but what that was a great opportunity for Kyle Busch in the 18 to get up there to 1 lap down, as well as Ryan Newman in that Army number 39 car. He's now on the tail end of the lead lap. Those guys, they want to see a caution so bad because that's your leader, Jeff Gordon, in that 24.
Darrell, I know how much you like the number 17. You won the Daytona 500 in car 17 on February 17th in your 17th try. Jeff Gordon has had a hard time getting the win finally at a couple of tracks. At Phoenix, we watched the battle for second. Carl Edwards around the outside of Brian Vickers for second. Jeff Gordon finally won at Phoenix in his 17th try. Guess how many races he's had at Texas? Yeah,
17.
17 today. Trying for his first win here.
Yeah, just don't overdrive.
You saw Carl Edwards just take that second position away from Brian Vickers. That moves the 99 up into second behind Jeff Gordon.
Well, I got a pretty good feeling about the 24 car because he is certainly early on he had a little problem. They got that thing fixed and he's been the car to beat pretty much the whole race.
Now Jeff Gordon just got by Ryan Newman. That puts Newman back a lap down.
65 laps to go for Jeff Gordon. It has been a long time since he's been to victory lane. Year and a half. Not counting the Daytona 500 dual race that sets the field. He won that 150 miler this February.
Yeah, well, he's not counting that either.
Exactly.
That's not the win he's looking for.
Nope.
Now Jeff Gordon has led 51 laps. Greg Biffle has led the most laps at 93, but the guy that has led 55 laps, the 17 car of Matt Kenseth, remember he
right now the two fastest cars, Jeff Gordon just ran a 31.01, but Carl Edwards just ran a 30.89 and Tony Stewart ran a 30.70, so there's a couple of cars behind Jeff's a little bit quicker than he is.
6th place race. It's entertaining to watch, but they're not really gaining any time on their teammate and race leader Jeff Gordon.
That time by, the first 3 cars ran the same speed. 31.52, all 3 of them.
And the 3 drivers who were quicker than them were Mark Martin, Jimmy Johnson, and Dale Jr.
There you see the top 3 cars right there. Jeff Gordon, Carl Edwards, Tony Stewart, not gaining or losing to each other.
Looks like to me the 99 gains a little on the 24 right through the center of the corner.
Steve, how about a 3rd place car, Tony Stewart?
I tell you what, Mike, he really likes that race car. He's been a cheerleader for
Jeff Gordon trying to get his first Sprint Cup win in over a year.
He's not won a race since October of 2007.
Oh, he's got a run. Here he comes.
It's too little too late.
Now we'll leave the short tracks and go to Texas.
Jeff Gordon leads by half a second over Carl Edwards, who has won the last 2 Sprint Cup races here. But David Reagan fell from 4th.
Go to the end, though, without stopping again. But I'm going to tell you what.
Here comes the 99.
Here he comes. That 99 of Carl Edwards. Look at him go through the middle of the corner.
Something happened to Jeff Gordon over there off of 2. Had to really get up out of the throttle, and Carl got an incredible run down the back. I don't know if he's going to be able to make the pass yet or not, but he is there.
He will through 1 and 2, though. He'll take that thing to the bottom. Gordon's going to get it run on the high side, but look at Stewart in the 14 car. He wants some of this action.
You know, I think something happened to Jeff Gordon's car right there the last time by. Looked good that time off turn 2. What happened to the 24, Krista?
Well, he didn't say a word on that lap, but for about the last 20 laps, he said that his car has continually gotten looser. But on that lap, he did not say a word.
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened right there.
Block.
Carl Edwards got Jeff Gordon blocked behind the 20 car of Joey Logano.
He could have made the pass, Larry, but he was pinned down on the bottom. Carl was. There he goes. Carl was pinned on the bottom off 4, and the car got sideways with him, cost him some
Going to try to come back outside. 24 is outside.
I tell you what, that 24 car, no matter what, gets a run off that corner.
Well, he's got that high. When you run that high line, you're going to have some straightaway speed.
But be on the shoulders of these pit crews.
You know who's happy right now? That's 17.
Yes, he is.
Because this is when they make up a spot.
The call at first was for wedge, but Jeff Gordon doubted that call. He said, no, it's going to make me too loose early in the run. So it was track bar instead for Jeff Gordon. Steve.
4 tires, but just 1 can of gas. This could be your trophy stop for Tony Stewart. Small air pressure adjustment to help his forward bite. He's away.
Jeff Gordon's going to win the race off pit road. Jimmie Johnson also got a good.
I don't. All types of trouble.
So we are set for the run to the finish. The Texas Stampede, 28 laps to go. 27 laps to go, ready for the restart, and we have just had our NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile monster moment. The 24 team celebrates after their pit stop gets Jeff Gordon out first. That was the imagery you saw as we went to break. There they are, justifiably proud of getting Jeff Gordon out first. But meanwhile, at the other end of pit road,
I like that.
Here is Carl Edwards in 11th place for this restart.
And with 26 laps to go, I just don't think you can get there.
I don't either. Not with that 24 up front and 2 guys that are after him right now, the 14 and the 48. They got fast cars too.
Carl Edwards trying to three-peat. The man on point, Jeff Gordon, trying to win for the first time in a point race in a year and a half.
Boy, Greg Biffle tried it on the high side. That 16 car had to get
everybody up.
Yeah, right in front of Mark Martin, who was trying to get to the front.
Everybody except the leader, that is, and he is long gone.
15 car.
Don't you know that's just got to aggravate everybody in the garage area the way they do that?
Absolutely. We saw the reaction of the crew after Jeff Gordon's pit stop.
Right there, talking about right there, yes.
That was Jeff Gordon's reaction.
Jeff Gordon knows when he's out front, he is hard to catch.
Well, he may be out front, but we got a battle for 4th between teammates of Matt. Guys, we're 311 laps into this race. Jeff Gordon and teammate Jimmie Johnson just ran their fastest lap of this race.
Well, not only the fastest lap, but Jeff Gordon just put 3 tenths on the field in that one lap.
And that lap Jeff Gordon ran, that was the fastest lap anybody's run in this race so far.
There's Tony Stewart still third. And it's a ways back to the Fords that are chasing him, about 2.5 seconds from Stewart back to Kenseth and Biffle.
And Mike, we still have almost 21 laps to go, but if things stay like they are right now, Jimmie Johnson would leave here 2nd in points behind his teammate Jeff Gordon.
And we need to add Ryan Newman to the list of lead lap cars. He got the free pass on that caution at lap 305.
We have 17 cars on the lead lap with 21 laps to go. I mean, right now, Jeff Gordon, he's pretty much about in his own zip code.
Pretty hard. You just stay nice and smooth, and you're going to get him.
Chad Knaus telling Jimmie Johnson he's seeing the same score monitor we're seeing.
Always the cheerleader.
Well, yes and no. He's not really cheerleading him. He's just encouraging him. He's giving him good, solid information that will make Jimmie go harder on his own without getting up on the pit box and jumping up and down. I just like the way Chad has such a great balance of how to get his driver motivated.
That's the word.
Motivated.
We've had the intimidator. Now we got the motivator.
That's right.
And it is Chad Knaus. 3 straight championships and getting that car into a position to win every week.
Well, Chad's sitting down there right now saying, hey, buddy, we fixed you up. Now go do your job.
There you are. Well, he's got 19 laps left to get it done. And 1.4 seconds is the difference. Jeff Gordon to Jimmie Johnson. And if you think Jimmie's just going to let Jeff win one because he hasn't in a while, never mind.
Don't work that way.
There you see Steve Letarte, Jeff Gordon's crew chief. We know that Tony Eury Jr., Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew chief, has taken a lot of ridicule. If there is another crew chief on pit road that's taken a lot of ridicule, it would be Steve Letarte, crew chief for Jeff Gordon.
Tony Jr. needs to go to that crew chief school that Letarte went to over the winter. And Larry, I just watched the 48 come off turn 4 that time. The car is a little bit sideways that time, like Jimmie is just using everything up right now I don't think he's going to have enough to get to his teammate, Jeff Gordon.
First car 1 lap down. Jeff Gordon 1.7 seconds ahead of teammate Jimmie Johnson.
And they just kind of even out each other. Jeff Gordon may run 1 lap a little quicker than Johnson. Johnson may run the next lap a little quicker than Gordon.
And let me correct, Hornish is the last car in the lead lap. Kyle Busch now the first car 1 lap back. Hornish is 17th.
Yeah, I think right now Jeff Gordon is sitting there and he's looking in front of him, but he's also just keeping that gap. He's looking in that mirror, keeping that gap between he and Jimmie Johnson pretty much the same, saving just a little bit in case he needs it here for a charge by Jimmie Johnson.
10 laps to go, 9 this time by. Jeff Gordon in his 17th start at Texas, looking for his first win here. Second week in a row that Gordon has started on the front row.
You know, we would have gone, when you went to Bristol Martinsville, you say, yeah, Jeff Gordon will win one of those. When we came to Texas, you'd say, yeah, Jeff Gordon doesn't have a chance at Texas because he hadn't won there before. But here he is today looking good, Krista.
Well, Jeff Gordon is part driver, part psychologist. Before he came in on that last pit stop talking about the conditions of his car, he said it sure would have helped if we had gotten off pit road first the last time. You heard how excited he was. You saw the crew's reaction. He basically willed his team to give him the lead.
Yeah, great motivation from driver to crew. Jeff Gordon and Jimmie Johnson have finished 1, 2, 8 times in their career. Gordon has won 5 of those.
Look at these two cars. They look identical. When you watch, there's the 24 comes off turn 4. Right behind him is the 48. They got the same color numbers, pretty similar paint jobs. One got a black hood, one got a gray hood. But here's something I think we ought to think about, Larry. I've seen that 24 like a switch gets flipped every now and then.
We saw it earlier in the race.
We saw it earlier in the race, so he's not home free just yet.
Well, we've got 7 laps to go, but as I watch this 24 car close in on his first win since October of 2007, Jeff Gordon shared with us that over the last
right now, about middle way.
Over the last 2 or 3 years, he's had some distractions. Now, we won't say they've been bad distractions. He got married. He became a father. He said it took him a while to find the balance of being a dad. He had some back problems. When we sat down with him a few weeks ago, there's no question. He's poised to win a championship, and there's no surprise to see him leading this race.
I'm working on right now.
Gordon carrying the National Guard colors in that GED Plus program for folks to get a high school equivalency diploma through the National Guard.
I tell you, Max Pappas is not cutting him any favors. That really closed the gap considerably between Johnson and Gordon right there. And that time by, there was 3/10 difference in the leader back to Jimmie Johnson. I tell you, you don't seal the deal in one of these races until the white flag's out.
No, and that lead is now down to 0.8 of a second with 5 to go.
That slow traffic, that lap traffic really played havoc. Max Pappas didn't mean to get in the way, couldn't get out of the way.
Look at Gordon's car. It's starting to get a little loosey-goosey,
a little
Darrell.
twitchy.
He's having to toss and catch it.
Now.
I tell you, they're going to be pretty dadgun close when they come here to get the white flag in a few more laps.
0.6 of a second.
Yeah, he reeled him in 3.5 on that lap right there. We got 4 laps to go.
0.5 second.
He's going to be there. He has got him in sight. You get a little draft here, so you're going to get a little suck down that back straightaway. Steve Letarte knows it too. He's a little worried.
Since Jeff Gordon came to Sprint Cup racing, he's never gone 47 races without a win since 1993, and now it's 0.5 second still.
But I think the good thing now is there's not a lot of traffic in their way. There's one more car up there, but I don't think they're going to catch it. And Jimmie Johnson, I think, he is trying to wheel his car up there because it's not handling as good as Jeff.
I think he has sucked everything out of it that's there. Jeff just gets off the corner so good. They're coming to 2 laps to go.
And Greg Biffle has caught Tony Stewart for 3rd as they come off turn number 4. There's that battle on the right side of your screen. Biffle coming hard, but he's going to run out of time to catch the leaders.
But I think Darrell's right. There's some fairly clean racetrack in front of Jeff Gordon in the 24 car. He gets that same good run off turn 2. Actually stretches it out just a little bit.
He's better off turn. Jeff Gordon's better off turn 2. But Jimmie Johnson is much better down here in 3 and 4. And they run a little bit different line down here. Jimmie runs a little higher, gets a lot of momentum, and really closes right there. But he isn't going to get there in time, although there is a couple of lap cars up here.
Kurt Busch has passed Jeff Burton. That's for the 8th position as we're on the final lap.
That 43 car is going to be right in Jeff Gordon's way. It's right where he likes to run. It's going to slow him down a little bit. I don't think Johnson's got enough speed. He's going to go high down here in 3 and 4. Try to get a lot of momentum off of turn 4. It's going to be too little too late.
But he packed her down into turn 3 and 4. But like you say, it's just not going to be enough.
17 tries at Texas. 17 is the lucky number for Jeff Gordon. He finally wins in Texas.
2 times 24. 40.
Pit crew, y'all better pat yourself on the back, boys. That's what we're talking about. That's the way to do it. Jeffrey, I'm proud of y'all day, man. You drove just a hell of a race.
Yes, he did.
Behind us, he don't make it easy, does he? Where'd he come from? You beat them boys in a place like this. You've done it. Proud of this team. Proud of all the work y'all put in. Y'all deserve it.
Not since October 2007 at Lowe's Motor Speedway has Jeff Gordon had a chance to drive to victory lane in a NASCAR Sprint Cup point race. It's his first victory in his last 48 starts, his 14th win on a 1.5 mile track. And he remains 6th on the all-time list in wins, one back of 5th place with his 82nd career victory.
Cale Yarborough just ahead of him now.
It's the 176th Sprint Cup win for car owner Rick Hendrick.
But I'm going to tell you what, I think Steve Letarte and Jeff Gordon towed the tail. That race was partially won right there on pit road. That's his 10th win with crew chief Steve Letarte.
I'm anxious to see what kind of burnouts the old boy can do because he hadn't done any for a while.
No. In fact, didn't he kind of used to be anti-burnout?
Yeah, he used to wouldn't do this. He thought it was
he's been saving this one up for a long time.
He thought it was mere child's play, but I think children like to play when they're having fun.
And I am sure she probably is present, but remember, Ella Sophia, his baby, has not been to victory lane in a points race, only at Daytona in a qualifying race.
She better be here.
You've been to that movie before.
I have, but you know, everything's bigger in Texas. Big Daddy is going to victory lane.
Big Daddy, he's the man.
Yes, you guys got me a win in Texas. I love you. Woo!
Jeff Gordon with Steve Letarte, his crew chief, cheering him on. Gordon said, Texas, one of those places on my radar. I want to turn things around and conquer it, and he did today. Welcome to the Lipitor post-race show and NASCAR on Fox as we come to you live from the Great American Speedway. And Jeff Gordon in victory lane, a feeling he hasn't had in a while, Steve Burns.
All smiles down here, Chris Myers. Jeff Gordon celebrating. Big smiles from the moment he pulled into victory lane. He's got that checkered flag. Jeff Gordon, you've had close calls here. You've had hard knocks here. What does it feel like to pull into victory lane on your 17th attempt at Texas?
Well, first I want to say hi to Ingrid and Ella at home, and I know she was saying go Papa go all day long, and I hate that they couldn't come with me this weekend, but how ironic is this, and I love you guys, how ironic is this that, you know, we go on this streak and we end it here in Texas, a place that had just eluded us for so long. This was an incredible team effort. This whole year has been amazing, and what a great car. I mean, we've never had a car like this at Texas, and we finally had one and put it in position. I got to thank DuPont. I got to thank National Guard, GED Plus, a great program that they have on board this weekend. And, of course, Pepsi, Quaker State, and I don't want to miss anybody else. Yeah.
It's been a while since you've been here, 47 races.
I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Siemens, Freightliner, Bosch, Purolator. I got to say hi to Rick. I don't think Rick's here, and I got you those 6-shooters, buddy. I got you those 6-shooters there, buddy.
Is that Rick?
Hey, boss. I lost him. We lost him. We lost him. I don't know what happened.
Jeff, you talked about a great race car. What was the key to winning this race?
Well, you know, we had to tune on it. I mean, we took off there. We were fast at the beginning, and I got the lead, got some bonus points, but it was really loose, and we started fading. And we made an adjustment. We went too far. I mean, Steve Letarte, I love this guy. He's a great crew chief, and he listens to me. And I was probably complaining too much, so he over-adjusted because of how I was talking, and we got tight. But, man, did he tune that thing back up. And the pit stops were amazing. This whole DuPont Chevrolet crew, National Guard, everybody. This has just been an incredible year that we're having. And how about my teammate, man? This guy just won't go away. I was like, where did he come from? It was unbelievable. It's so special to win here at Texas. I'm just thrilled. I can't wait to get home to Ingrid and Ella. And, man, what an amazing day it's been, and I'm just really thankful.
Enjoy the win, Jeff.
We will.
Let's go to
Trying
Chris
to get
Myers.
over to Rick Hedrick on the telephone there. And the top two finishers, as Mark Martin congratulates Jeff, 1-2, and are 1-2 in points. Jeff Gordon with the lead over Jimmy Johnson, his teammate who he referenced moments ago. Let's check in with Matt.
And congratulations, Jeff Gordon. He worked hard for this one.
All right, problem in the pits for Carl Edwards, leaving Jeff Gordon the opportunity to finish first, followed by Jimmy Johnson. And Carl Edwards had it, that caution with 31 laps to go. And Jeff put on his ascot for the occasion for Jeff Gordon's victory. Guys, your final thoughts?
Well, to really appreciate Jeff Gordon's win, you have to go back a year. He spun all by himself in this race last year and finished last. He's only finished last twice in his whole career, both at this racetrack. This was one he had to get. Today he did.
And let me ask you guys, how long ago, how many years ago, not that many years ago would it have been that when Jeff Gordon won, nobody'd be happy?
It was kind of old news.
Jeff Gordon wins today, and everybody's happy, including his wife and daughter at home. And
to Phoenix. Who knows what Jeff Hammond will have his Easter Bunny outfit. We'll have Jeff look ahead to Phoenix. We'll show you the final finishing order and the points when we continue live here in Texas. NASCAR on Fox, everything big in Texas, and a big win for Jeff Gordon. It had been 47 races. This guy's a four-time NASCAR champ, but he wanted this one, his first career win at this track, so only Homestead, Miami, a place that he has not won of those current racetracks. It's been a lot of Jeff Gordon hangs on to win.
Well, the first thing is, this is a Texas tie. And, yes, I believe we're going to wind up having a great battle, especially going into Phoenix next week, where Jimmy Johnson won there a year ago. And here, Jeff Gordon, he has won in Phoenix, but he's got some momentum on his side right now, folks. Being the points leader, I think this guy, you got to watch out. He gets hot. He can stay hot for a while.
Well, his teammate, who he fought off, Jimmy Johnson, has won the last 3 races in Phoenix. Jeff Gordon, the all-time leading money winner in NASCAR history, and he has the biggest points lead so far at this point of the season. Junior, who led for a while, misfired on occasion and wound up 20th, but Jeff Gordon celebrating for the first time. He's got a cowboy hat. Did he take yours?
I was getting ready to say he can hit his target. Yes, he's got mine on. It look good. We both named Jeff, so why not? Why would he be not wearing my hat?
All right. You know, they used to talk about Dale Earnhardt, the late great. He could see the air in restrictor plate races. Jeff Gordon could see the wind. He figured it out. He and his crew chief made the adjustments. We're off racing for the Easter weekend, but then when we come back in 2 weeks, it's Saturday baseball, and then right into a NASCAR doubleheader and the Subway Fresh Fit 500, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, our pre-race show, and we'll no doubt be talking to Jeff Gordon.
Hey, there's a couple of happy guys right there. Jeff Gordon and Steve Letarte, his crew chief, got back to victory lane for the first time in a long while.
So Rick Hendrick connecting on the telephone after Jeff Gordon pulls into victory lane, fighting off Jimmy Johnson. 14 different leaders, the most this season, a number of lead changes that made it exciting. Happy birthday to Matt Yoakum and Steve Burns, celebrating this week. For Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers, our entire crew, have a great Easter weekend. We'll see you in Phoenix. Thanks for being a part of NASCAR on Fox.
Yeehaw!
That's what I'm talking about right there, yeah. Yeah, you guys got me a win in Texas. I love you. Woo!